Okay, so I want you to stand about arm's length away from your partner, and I want you to put on that scuba mask. Okay, arm's length apart, so you two come in a little bit closer to each other. One arm, yeah. Like that. Here, you can come up here with me. Alright. So what do you notice when you have that scuba mask on?
All I see is what's right in front of me.
All you see is what's right in front of you. What else?
I can't see anybody on this side of the room.
I can't see anything.
I look straight forward, I can't see her at all.
You can't see anything from the side.
So now, one person I want you to... Okay, so one person I want you to keep that scuba mask on, and the other person I want you to pretend like you're the caregiver, okay? So if you don't have that scuba mask on, go ahead and put yours on. I want you to smile real big, and I want you to lean in just a little bit.
No.
Right?
You can see now.
Okay. So people with the scuba mask on, what is that like for you?
It's scary.
Kind of like, oh, like,
So kind of startling, what did you say?
I said, can you see me now?
Yeah. So what did that feel like for your partner?
a little scary.
A little scary? Why?
I mean, look. What do you mean, why?
I didn't know her. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who the person is.
It feels really invasive, right? If you don't know the person or think that you don't know them. She's in your space, right?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Step back.
I like that straight out.
No.
Step back, push. What else?
Yell.
Scream.
Yell it.
Yeah, how come?
They don't know what to do.
It's uncomfortable, right? We don't know what to do, how to react. How might a person living with dementia actually react if they're feeling like you're in their space or...
Fight or flight. We see that.
Right. Fright, flight, or fight. I think we talked about that last time too, right? So they may get aggressive. They may just shut down completely or try to get away from you, right? We see all those different kinds of reactions. So we talked about how we want to approach from the front, right? Because we want them to see us. We want to be in that periphery. So how could we be more helpful for somebody who's losing some of that vision?
Maybe to the side.
Right. Okay, so this stance that we were doing a second ago, this actually has a name. We call it confrontational stance. For obvious reasons, right? Feels like something's about to go down, like you were saying. So what we recommend is something that's called supportive stance. In supportive stance, it's a very small shift in how we approach, but it makes a big difference with that visual field. So go ahead and put your scuba mask back on. And what I want the other person to do this time is I want you to keep your face right where they can see it in that central vision. But I want you to open your shoulder and step back. Okay? Okay, scuba mask people. What do you see? Hello?
Well, I mean, it just seems like it's not as direct.
Okay.
I don't know how to.
It feels more open, right? What else? Anything else that you notice? Because it's not a big change, right? I was here before, now I'm
Well, this
here.
seems like more of an escape, if there's, you know,
Yeah.
like there's an escape route.
Right, there's an escape route. Because what happens is that when people's brains get anxious, and this is true whether you're living with dementia or not, when our brains get anxious and we think, oh my God, there's not a way out of here, our brain starts to fire like crazy, right? We start to hit panic mode, and suddenly, I don't care what you're saying to me, because I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't like this, right? I need out of here. Right? So, like you said, I like that escape. Opening that escape route for people helps their brain to calm down so they don't feel as trapped and we can have better communication here, but it still keeps me in your vision. Yeah? So, do we always know who has dementia?
Nope.
No.
Nope. So, who should we do this with?
Everyone, I think.
I'd say.
Nobody, just stay
Right?
home.
What'd you say? Nobody stay home?
Just stay home.
Let's go with either nobody or everybody. Okay, stance and just give it a try. Once you've done it, go ahead and switch with the other person.
Confrontational.
Make sure you're not stepping too far away, it's just an open shoulder.
Are we doing this right? Because she feels like she's gonna hit somebody, but she doesn't. I
No,
thought for sure.
I said something, it feels like a hitting stance.
Okay,
I thought I brought it up.
Well, I'm sorry, maybe I'm not sure.
And I thought I was gonna pose.
Yeah, you can just-
There's one where
if
they
you're
say
gonna
like
lock
we,
right first, man and I
every
always
day,
say
it's
embrace
every
the
every
awkward.
approach.
When you're working in
One day this will work, and then
Sometimes,
the next day it's.
when you're really a good person, it's not quite as like, it's more natural, and when we get into other steps of the positive physical approach, you'll see that it's more kind of flow, like, if you're just talking to somebody, you kind of like create, you know, it feels more natural, you're more comfortable. You just want to make it obvious right now, so you can see the difference. It's great. You guys feeling okay with this too?
Yeah.
Okay. We okay for now? All right. So let's talk about the next range of vision, right? So as the changes continue to happen in the brain and people progress along that range of dementia, during like the middle stages, that vision continues to increase and eventually gets to the point where it's about 12 to 18 inch circle. So kind of right there. This is just by the middle stages. So this is when we move from something like binocular vision to a type of vision that, or excuse me, like scuba vision to a type that we call binocular vision. So I want you to go ahead and face your partner in confrontational stance again. But this time I want you to go from your scuba mask down to binoculars. So I want you to close like you're looking through binoculars at the person across from you.
And you both, you both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
So what's different about this? Even from the scuba mask to this?
The vision.
Yeah, very much.
A lot less peripheral vision. It's almost like having tunnel vision. Anything else?
Seems
No?
even more scared, like
Scary.
scarier.
Even scarier. Why?
You don't know anything that's going on if you hear the sounds.
Okay. You're kind of uncertain what's out there. Yeah, absolutely. So if you get to that point and you're starting to feel a little more scared, how might that affect your day-to-day life?
I personally would probably be one of them that shuts down and that you have to bring me out of my shell.
Yeah. That you don't want to interact at all because you don't know what's happening. Okay. What a good point.
What do you think it would do physically? What the change there?
Increased fall risk for sure.
Blowing into things constantly.
Be harder to reach out and just pick something up off the table because it's
Yeah.
in a different spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So actually one of the things that we know, imagine you're sitting at a 4-top table, right? Just like if you were at one of these tables in the dining room and you had that scuba vision, okay? So those early stage visual changes. Without moving my head too much, I can kind of see you sitting across from me. I can move my eyes and see the plate of food in front of me without too much difficulty, right? People that have that binocular range of vision can't do that anymore, right? So we now have 2 zones of vision. So the first one is social vision, right? I can see you across from me and we can chit chat and that's just fine. Or I can see what's down here, right? And the tough thing is that every time I have to move from task vision to social vision or social vision to task vision, my brain has to stop one and start the other. Stop one and start the other. And that gets really exhausting for the brain and it becomes very hard to do.
It's like
Right.
the first time you get bifocals.
Yes, very similar to the first time you get bifocals and you think, where am I supposed to look? Right, in some ways. Good analogy, I like that. So, when we're trying to help somebody with personal care, why should we be aware of those 2 zones? So when we're helping with eating or dressing or hygiene
Well,
stuff,
that way we can help verbally, like walk them through their steps as well.
okay?
that way, like, you know, we have more patience with them and like can have give them verbal cues as like what we're doing.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
We need to hone in more on what they're paying attention to as we're, showering them, changing them.
Yeah, so what's
So
holding
keep
their
their focus.
attention?
Right.
Right, how can we get this done by working with where your focus already is? Or what can I take out of your focus so that you can
Right.
focus on the important thing, right? I know a lot of times, for a lot of people, for instance, eating is a very social time, right? That's just how it's built into our culture. We talk, we eat, we have a good time. But for somebody who may be struggling with a lot of intake, giving them somebody who's very social sitting across from them who they enjoy a lot may really complicate that, right? Because if I'm having a lot of fun with you, I don't care what's down here anymore if I can't see at the same time. Does that make sense?
Would that be why, you know how quiet they get when they're all eating, like they hold no conversation. That's overall, there's just a couple ladies at that table, but every other table.
And for some people, that could be the way, is that I'm focused on the task. So that social is not as important to me in that moment, right? And that's okay, as long as I'm not making somebody angry across the table about that. All right, so let's kind of do another little experiment together to learn about why this is important. So one of you, how about opposite of whoever did the scuba this time, one of you go ahead and put on those binoculars. Okay. And I want the other person, confrontational stance, to lean in and give him a little touch. Right? Give him a little touch. Okay. Reach in. Okay. People with the binoculars. What are you thinking right now?
Who's touching me?
Who is touching me? Right?
I'm telling.
Stop it. I'm telling. Knock it off.
Yes, out of range of vision. When I did this, and she tapped my
She's
arm,
laughing.
I could not see
Exactly.
that it was her. I mean, I knew it was her, but.
You're still in her field, but she's out of range, right? That hand is coming out of nowhere. So again, what kind of reaction are we gonna get if somebody thinks that we're just being social, or they see us there in their vision and suddenly, wow, there's a touch. Yeah, yeah, he is ready to fight today. Right, we're gonna get all those kinds of reactions, and how would we label those things when we see them? Right, I'm coming in to help you, and now you're ready to swing at me. So what am I gonna say in my charting about you? What's your name, Paul?
Yeah, but I'm easily angered.
Paul is easily angered. What else?
Bad.
My favorite. Very combative, resistant to care.
Stay out of my bubble.
Right. I really made that about you, didn't I?
Yes.
But whose fault was that really?
For
Uh-oh.
shame, for shame, for
Yeah. It's my fault. Because I scared you. Right? You were just reacting. Okay, so we still have to help people. Right? It's still our job. So what do we need to make sure of when we're doing this with somebody who might have that middle stage?
You need to see your face say in their
shame.
eyes.
Communicate more.
They need to see our face and our hands. We need to communicate more, or better, I would say, maybe not more.
I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder, don't be scared.
Yeah. So we need to make sure they see that hand. So what did we do before? We went from confrontational to supportive, right?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and get in your supportive stance this time. Snuggle up. Okay, go ahead and put on your binoculars. Reach in.
That's not what you supported.
Reach in. No, the other person. Take care of you. Okay. All right, so is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it? Why?
I can see her arms coming in.
Oh, she was like swinging, huh?
Yeah.
She was trying to
She was
show
swinging.
you. What about for the rest of you?
It was not, I mean, it was better than the confrontational, but it was still a little.
Yeah, it's still kind of hard to see, isn't it? Yeah. So
And we knew it was coming.
Yeah, so we need to find a
We knew
way
that they were gonna reach for
to
it.
make sure that people can see our hands even as that vision continues to change, right? Because while that may solve the problem for somebody with that scuba mask vision, it may or may not for somebody with that binocular, right? right, we're getting closer to that PPA. How are you guys doing so far? What kind of thoughts are you guys having about, oh gosh, there's this resident, is anybody popping into your head or
Very
anything?
much so.
And
Yeah, what kinds of
several, and
things?
my grandmother.
And your grandmother, okay. So do you mind telling us about one of those folks and how you might do something differently with them?
My grandmother, my mom and all of us take care of her at home. She's 93 years old. Up until less than a year ago, she was all on her own, taking care of everything. Now they've been taking every decision away from her. And she's ready to go home. She's ready to get up in the middle of the night, doesn't matter what time it is, and go out the door and go home.
Yes.
They can't explain to her that she's at home. So, you know, the only one that can handle her is my uncle, so they all have to call him, who lives up the road, to come in and tell her that, you know, hey, you are home, and I'm gonna stay here with you until you're, you know,
Yeah.
she's the only one he trusts, even though the rest of them are all her kids.
It's funny because I find that sometimes that one person that's like naturally the go-to person does these things without even realizing that they do
Mhm.
them.
And,
You know,
well, him and Mama are the most alike. They're both stubborn as all get out.
More than you, huh?
We're
All right. So we need to make sure that we're thinking about those visual changes that are happening all the time as we approach. So I want to do something a little bit different now. So now with your partner, go ahead and get double arms length apart. Okay, so about, you know, if you put your arms up together. So this is about, give or take, about 6 feet, right? Okay, you put your arms down. Yeah, I just wanted you to stand that far apart.
Simon
Okay.
says,
We're gonna start to work on our, what'd you say? Oh, did your partner leave?
Yeah.
Oh, come here, you can play with me.
up in the front of the class.
I hate.
Okay, so double arms length apart. Standing kind of like this. Ready? Go ahead and put on your binoculars. Right? How much of the person across from you can you see?
Quite a bit.
Like knees up.
Okay.
Really see.
So head, good bit of torso.
I can see a little bit of your stomach area, and then I can see.
Okay, then move it. Just a step.
Do
Now
what?
what happens?
Waves up.
Right, only face and shoulders. We're back into that confrontational stance that we talked about before, right? Okay. So this is where we're going to start to enter into some of those positive physical approach skills, okay? In a minute, we're going to talk about our different zones of awareness, okay? There are 3 different zones of awareness. There's public space, there's private space, and then there is intimate space, right? Where you do not want me. She's like, get off of me right now, right? We want our positive physical approach to start when we are out in the public space. The problem that we fall into sometimes when we're providing care is that we jump right to that intimate space. And not only is it startling and surprising and sometimes very confusing, but we have not been given permission to come into that person's space. So with our positive physical approach skills, we are going to actually use the way that we approach and interact to gain permission and also to get on the same page as that person so we can work together. Because you remember last time we said that we want everyone doing with and not to.